Hey everybody, it's Amanda. Today we're going to be discussing logical operators since we just discussed relational operators as well as equality operators. Now I'm going to introduce you to logical operators. If you already know what these are, that's not going to benefit you. However, if you don't know what they are, this will benefit you. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of our program. We are using a relational operator here as well as an equality operator here. However, we are going to introduce our logical operator in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and run this program. As you can see, after I've ran it, it displays true. That's because it is true. So first it's going through this if statement, cost of drink. The cost of drink is assigned $1.99. Then it's going to do the comparison. If the cost of drink is less than the cost of gas, which is $4.50, and the cost of the drink is not equal to the cost of the gas. So basically what this if statement is saying that if the cost of the drink is less than the cost of the gas and the cost of the drink is not equivalent the cost of the drink is not equivalent to the cost of gas, it will result to a true output. Else it would result in a false output. First, let's take a step back and discuss our logical operators. First, let's discuss the syntax of them and the names of them as well. We have and, which is equivalent to 2 ampersand signs. Then we have or, which is 2 vertical bars. Lastly, we have our not logical operator, which is just 1 exclamation point. Shown earlier, let's go ahead and declare our variables. This time I'm going to use a double. You haven't seen a double in my previous videos. However, if you're familiar with doubles, you know what they are. If you're not familiar with doubles, I'm going to explain. Doubles are another data type that is inside C++. However, instead of whole numbers, these are going to be your decimal numbers. And instead of just decimal numbers, doubles are equivalent to 8 bytes and integers are 4 bytes. So just that's something to know. So first for my double, I'm going to do cost of drink. I'm going to switch it this time. I'm going to assign it $1.99 and double cost of gas. I'm going to do $4. And then, so I told you previously to look up if you haven't, it's definitely something for you to look up. So if cost of drink is less than cost of gas, this is where we're going to use our first logical operator, and we're going to use and. So if our cost of drink is less than our cost of gas and our cost of drink is not equal to our cost of gas, this is where it would result in true, because the cost of the drink is less than the cost of the gas and the cost of the drink is not equal to the cost of the gas. Oh, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and run the program. It's going to display true. And as we see, we get true. Let's go ahead and show you how it's displayed in memory instead of just showing you that how it displays true or false. Let's go ahead and show you a memory example. I'm going to use a Boolean to do this. Again, I showed you a Boolean in my last example. However, I haven't created a Boolean video yet. But a Boolean is going to result in a true or false. Which one is true and 0 is false. So Boolean first comparison, I'm going to go ahead and use my comparison in my if statement. And now instead of this if statement, I'm going to use my variable and see if it's true. And I'm going to run the program. It's going to display in true. However, if I wanted to double check it, I could also display first comparison. However, it's going to display, instead of true, it's going to display a 1 or a 0. Or, well, in this case, it would display a 1 or a 0 and then false. But since it's true, it's going to display 1. And as you can see, I got 1. Let's go ahead and do a second comparison now. So this is going to be a true or example. We'll start out with a Boolean again. Second comparison is assigned. First, we'll start out with cost of gas. This time is greater than cost of drink, or the cost of the drink is not equal to the cost of gas. However you want to, whichever one you want to start first with, that's fine. Go ahead and save it. I'm going to change my if statement. I'm going to do the second comparison. Again, I can go ahead and check to see if it's true. If it results in true, it will say true. Otherwise, it will say else. Go ahead and run the program. Oh, I messed up on one of my variables, it looks like. Oh, no, this is just a warning, sorry. I went ahead and commented that out. Let's go ahead and clear that. And as you can see, it's true. So the cost of the gas is more than the cost of the drink. So it instantly results in true. So once it hits that first comparison, it will instantly result in true. It won't even check the second one. However, if the first comparison is false, then it will check the second comparison, just so you know. So let's do our third comparison using the not logical operator. The third comparison, this is where the not logical operator is a little bit different. So if I do the cost of drink, I commented out the cost of gas. So a cost of drink. So if the third comparison is assigned the cost of drink in this case, because it's a Boolean, then it would be equivalent to third comparison is assigned cost of drink is equal cost of drink. However, if I added a not logical operator in front of that, it's going to negate it and it's going to reverse it no matter what it does. So it's going to, so instead of it being 199, it's going to not it and it's going to negate it. So in this case, if I did costs or the third comparison is true, it's going to result in false instead. And if we wanted to show it inside of memory, instead of using this, it will display as 0 now. Oh, sorry, it wouldn't display as 0. That's because this is false. Here, let's go ahead and change that to false. Sorry. All right. That's another thing to know about if statements. So because that was true, it went through the if statement and it said if the third comparison is true, which it wasn't true, so it went to the else statement. So in this case, if the third comparison is false, like we're expecting this time, we can go ahead and run it and see what it's actually in memory instead of just seeing the word false, and we get 0. Hopefully these examples have helped and give you a better understanding of what and or not are for our logical operators, the syntax for them, as well as how to use them in comparisons. If you're happy with this content, please feel free to share, subscribe, and like this video as well. However, I'm going to also do a visual example outside of the Visual Studio Code right now, and I'm going to go ahead and jump right into that. So let's go into that. Here's our first example. First, we're going to go ahead and use and as our first example. You can see that we used it right here. And basically, so in this comparison, we had the cost of drink and the cost of gas, and then the cost of drink is not equal to the cost of gas. And they both resulted in true. So therefore, it resulted in true. The only reason why this resulted in true is because both were true. If there was a 0, so if this started out and this was not true, it wouldn't even go through this and, because it would not be true. In order for this to be true, then they would both have to be true, which is 1 in memory. And the same thing applies to the other side. So even though this one may be true, if this one's 0, then the result of this is going to be 0. It's not going to be 1. For our OR comparison, this is going to be one or the other, so it's going to be either a 1 or a 0 in this case. So one of them is going to be false and one of them is going to be true. Otherwise, it results in false. Or if both are true, then obviously it would be true. So if this was true and this was false, it would still result as true because it's an OR. If this was false and this was true, it would still result in a true. If this was false and this was false, obviously that would be false. However, if both were true, even though it's an OR, this would still be true. For our last logical operator, we're going to discuss not, which is the explanation point. Basically, what this is going to do is it's going to negate whatever is inside of the comparison. So if it's true, it will negate it to false. If it's false, it will negate it to true. And that's going to be our not comparison. You can run in the program and see how it works a little bit differently. So because of the cost of drink is assigned $1.99, it's not assigned anything else. Therefore, the result is going to be true. So if we run the program, true. And however, if we went and negated it, it would result in false. And again, it's not showing the 0 here because this if statement is not true. Therefore, it's displaying the false. If you found this video helpful, please feel free to subscribe, share, and like it. I hope everybody has a great night, and thanks for your time.